Mime being removed, and no, Hooper will stay in on the bench, but Zorak is actually going to be removed here from RRQ. So what's the question? It's going to be the Lapras, so Mr. Mime is again going to be available here for Nodiza if they want to grab it here for Cakekalok. Again, this team is not pressured to first pick it because they kind of don't need the first pick it.
It's like if we can live without the Mime, it's kind of like your sixth pick, right? If I want it, I can take it.
Yeah, grab it here for Cake, but a back cap like that. So let's see what the bans are going to be for these two teams. If we're going to see a Mr. Mime being removed, and no, Hooper will stay in on the bench, but Zorak is actually going to be removed here from RRQ. So what's the question? It's going to be the Lapras, so Mr. Mime is again going to be available here for Nodiza if they want to grab it here for Cakekalok. Again, this team is not pressured to first pick it because they kind of don't need the first pick it.
It's like if we can live without the Mime, it's kind of like your sixth pick, right? If I want it, I can take it.
Yeah,
but if I don't want it, it's fine. Well, RRQ get their prize Lapras, but they do end up losing the Dojo, Clefable, and Clefable also. This does make it harder to slot a Mime in because you already have a Clefable.
I don't think they'll slot it. I think because this is Nodiza that's actually picked up the Clefable. I think it's also a deny pick because Clefable is a notorious counter for Dodrio. So it almost feels like it was a mandatory pickup for this team to make sure that Levi has a good game on that Dodrio. But that's not it, right? There's still going to be some counters, or at least an opportunity for RRQ to make a comeback happen. And it's going to have to be in the form of these two last picks. Eeyore back onto his Urshifu, and they're going to continue with this story here. Axew again on the Alolan Ninetales. They are dead set on this composition, and Necro is going to be getting the Lapras, I believe. So
this
is it Blissey for Illuna?
It must be, right? It must be a Blissey.
Yeah, because I don't think Illuna would play Eltugos.
This is kind of a throwback to just RRQ when they were formerly Team Rise, where they have a Pokemon that they run.
Lucario.
I thought we won't have Lucario today, but we do. So
on Mark God as well.
On Mark God.
So I'm keen. I want to see what this guy can do with Lucario, and Illuna is going to be piloting that Blissey. So Necro back onto the Lapras again.
Honestly, Axew running, just RRQ constantly running the Alolan Ninetales reminds me of the days where they constantly run the Cramorant, right? It's you can call it stubborn, but I would say RRQ just feels really comfortable with running this comp. And it's not to say that in the previous game it didn't work. It's just that Cakekalok got the jump on them every single time.
Yeah. And there's no Mime in this game.
And there's no Mime in this game, so you don't have to worry about getting separated from your team. You don't have to worry about getting pushed back.
You still there are still a couple Pokemon I think you are worried about though, right? Like there's a Dodrio that's on the field. There's also going to be a Lucario who could potentially X-speed into the back lines. And it's a Gold Ribbon Lucario as well. So this guy plays a lot of Lucario. I'm really excited to see what he can pull off with this Pokemon.
And I want to see if RRQ would do the same thing that Cakekalok did in Game 1, where they just, they just put this Urshifu on Lapras' back and just Uber him into the fight. That's what Cakekalok did.
Bring him everywhere, free rides.
Free rides. I would also love to see one day if an attacker on the back of Lapras, like, I don't know, the Decidueye.
I want to see the Cramorant, right? Yeah, the Cramorant
Gatling Gulp.
Yeah, on the back of that Lapras. I mean, we'll probably see it one day, but teams are just not picking up the little blue bird, unfortunately.
We saw it last month, but
Lapras wasn't playable.
We saw the Cramorant. Was it by Zerfig Gaming? I think it is. It was kind of like the only team that picked the Cramorant. I wonder how Cakekalok is going to work with this though. Like, this is a game, sure, no Mr. Mime, but they have another Pokemon that you just do not see.
Yeah, and it looks like for now we are going to get a couple of points scored on the side of Cakekalok, starting to get those stacks on Mark God. Now, again, for people that aren't quite familiar with Mark God, this player is currently in the top 10 global rankings. So he is one of the, I guess, hard-working players for Unite. And he's got a Gold Ribbon Lucario as well, so this is one of his most played Pokemon.
He had to brave the treacherous ranking. The treacherous rank experience, okay? It's not hard, it's not easy to rank up. But you have an Urshifu that has just got that early KO, get this early score, hitting that level 6 soon as well as the Altara family spawns, and instantly they are no more.
Yep, they are instantly gone. I mean, it just goes to show how much RRQ really value that Lapras lane. They want to guarantee the experience, and you also want to deny it from Mark God as well. But Levi and Mark God, they are still dead set on trying to get those scores, but I think Levi, his story is going to end for now as he gets knocked out there by a really angry Eeyore.
It's Urshifu in a nutshell.
Yeah, pretty much.
When you see Urshifu and he gets on top of you, I don't think there's any Pokemon that can beat him when he hits level 5.
1v1, yes.
Yeah, he's just way too strong.
Actually, okay, there might be one.
What? Crustle?
The banned Pokemon.
The banned Pokemon.
Yeah, the Zacian. But unfortunately, Zacian isn't playable, so we don't really have that counter available. But the teams are gathered in the central area to take out the Swablues, and who's going to get the majority of them so far? Both teams just not going for any active engagements, just trying to get the snipes and walk on out of there. But oh, gotta be careful there with the Eldegoss, just getting burned down. So try and jump forward, almost getting a connection there onto the Dodrio. Will just get out of there, so no KO for anybody.
Eeyore is having a great game so far. Highest level in the game, constantly ahead of the Dodrio. That is the snowball you want to see. It's one of the few Pokemons that can snowball from start until end. I think not a lot of Pokemon can do that. You know, you look at examples like Dodrio, Talonflame, Azora. When they reach that late game, they are the same as anyone else. But this Urshifu just continues to grow and be at the top of the list when it comes to the power level. Necro is going to get gone on though, instantly KO, and Cakekalok finds an opening up top.
Here comes Eeyore though, he is going to try and get revenge for his teammate, but no, he will focus on getting the Swablues instead because he realizes trying to fight these two is futile, actually uses the full heal as well, he will get the first KO! Mark God goes down and Eeyore, he's looking for a second, he will get it. Oh, the power of that water band is just terrifying.
The next Holoware I want to see for Urshifu hopefully is like a Wing Chun Master or something. But the Liquidate Shield also helped him survive, right?
Yes.
He reset it like, what, 2 times at least? In that fight, Surging Strike also gives him that much more mobility and damage. Cakekalok trying to steal the Reggie, not able to get it. Naughty will stay alive just for a bit. It actually is running Telekinesis instead of the Amnesia, so not much the same. But the Dodrio shows up on the triple trample all the way to the back. Was able to get XQ out of the way, but they need a bit more. Sunzage is there with the dishwasher fire, but is Eeyore once more turning it around onto Mark God, and RRQ wins that one.
That really cute play coming in from RRQ. The team was going to back up, but they quickly turn, pick up a knockout onto that Lucario. Fantastic pick off, and then they continue to back up. I love how some teams, they use the retreat as a feint attack. Like the team backs up, making it look as if they don't want to fight, but then they turn and they nab somebody when they least expect it.
You wait for cooldowns, right? Like
yes.
1-2 precious seconds.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to make those openings happen, and they're so good at it. I think this is the second or third time that we've seen this Lucario be taken down so far. So I can understand the hyper-aggression coming out from Mark God, but I do think maybe at times he's going to have to tune it down a little bit because you don't also want to feed away that experience.
And he is going to suffer for the next 2-3 minutes, right? Because his level is the same as the Blissey. It's the same as the Lapras. That's not where you want to be. 10, yeah. It's almost 10. But Zoe's almost 9, right?
Look at this though, Eeyore's going to try and cut off Mark God. He's like, come back
if he takes him down, that's going to be level 12 for Eeyore. I don't think Mark God can hold this. He needs his team with him. They're going to try and cap this on the side of RRQ. Instantly triple trample all the way to the back. Levi trying to draw RRQ's attention away. But RRQ, their focus on the mission is all about the KOs on the side of Cakekalok. Slow beam used by the slow bro, but he's going to be frozen in place and turned into an ice cube. RRQ breaks this goal zone.
Oh, this was a bit of an awkward fight there for Cakekalok. So we're now starting to see the dynamics for these teams, and Cakekalok are really struggling in these full head-on 5-on-5 engagements. I think this is the second time that RRQ has been able to walk out of this successfully and convincingly win those fights. So I think now if you're Cakekalok, you might need to change your approach to this game. And it might have to be in the form of your Dodrio going for back caps, looking for those little pick-offs. Try to avoid those really big 5-on-5 engagements. In the backlines though, we're going to be seeing the Dodrio trying to go for a bit of a backstab, but not going to be successful at all.
And we also see the big difference between game 1 and 2, where Cakekalok, they don't have sort of the backline hindrance that they did have in game 1, right?
Well, I think that's what Levi and Markgod is supposed to be doing here, right? We've seen them multiple times trying to jump into the backline, try to pick off APAC-WEST, but they've been popped, basically, before they can accomplish their job. They're going to try and do it now. Power up to try and get the... No, they can't even get the Reggie! APAC-WEST yet again securing the objective, and that's going to be, again, Markgod off the field with more experience being funneled into RRQ's pockets.
Yeah, RRQ just laughing at its gold ribbon right now because they have such good control of these fights. Cakekalok, I agree, you know, you need the Dojo and the Lucario to hit the back line, but you don't have anyone to facilitate that, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Mime was the facilitator from Cakekalok. He's just gonna run in, dance around, RRQ gets distracted, and then you pop APAC-WEST. But now, Levi has to do both on his own, and it's not easy because RRQ can easily turn on him, and Cakekalok can't follow up.
Yeah, they really just... They don't have the insurance, right? Like the guarantee that you're going to get what you're looking for. But Levi, they've been pushed back here by a Lapras. And look at Eos, every time this man is like behind this bird.
He is almost 14.
Oh, Levi. I mean, at this point, I think this man's playing Five Nights at Freddy's, except Five Nights at Eos.
Five Nights of Eos. Eos is about... I think he might hit 15 before Ray respawns.
Yeah, I actually agree. At the rate that he's going, he's just getting so much experience from getting the KOs on both Markgod and Levi, right? Like, he's just gotten so many knockouts on these high-level Pokemon, and again, he's like, I know this man's coming for this objective.
It's tough for Cakekalok for the slow bro also. He can slow beam someone, but if it's not XQ, this Alolan Ninetales can easily just use Avalanche and push everyone from Cakekalok away. It's a huge deterrent.
I'm thinking though, like, if you're Cakekalok, the slow beam has to be on Eeyore. Like, it has to be on the Urshifu. They gotta get rid of him because I think Eeyore in this game is just he's doing too much. He's level 14, he's almost 15, and a level 15 Urshifu against a team where the majority of them aren't even 13.
You are one shot.
Yeah, you are going to get 1-2 shot. So I think if you're Noriza, the slow beam's going to have to go onto the Urshifu, and your team is just going to have to roll him up. You have to throw everything and the kitchen sink at this Pokemon.
And whenever Eeyore runs in, it's either slowly or telekinesis, right? You have to just stop him from reaching that backline. But we see the Dojo going for some sort of back cap. That's a dash on 26. And RRQ, they're going to try and jump the gun right now, looking to punish Cakekalok. And they find him with that Avalanche. And Cakekalok just basically collapsing at the seams. Vegeta trying to help out the rest of his squad, but you can see Eeyore forcing Levi's all the way back. He's going to get controlled by the telekinesis, but there's nothing that Cakekalok could do.
Oh, that was just... I mean, that was probably the best thing that Cakekalok really could have asked for in that fight. I mean, we saw what happened. The setup with the Lapras Express coming in from Necro. They did get the slow beam, I believe, onto the Urshifu, onto Eeyore, but he got Bliss assisted. I mean, they just did not have the damage to take him out while he got held in place. So this game, RRQ, dominant performance. They had the Pokemon that they wanted. I mean, it was basically given to them on a silver platter at this rate. And Cakekalok, this game, they just didn't have an answer for the Urshifu. I mean, next game, you gotta look at this and be like, we can't give Eeyore his Urshifu.
And this game was also a case of not having a proper setup for Cakekalok. It's more of, if we can hit the back line and we get rid of APAC-WEST, then that's it. That is what we want to achieve. But who can run with you, right? PSL 9 is Clefable, she's stuck with the Slowbro and the Delphox, while you have a Dojo who is just trying to run into the back and try and take out the Alolan Ninetales before anything happens. It's a tall ass from Cakekalok.
Yeah, but this was just an insane game coming in from RRQ. I think this was really it just shows the mastery of this team in general. Like, this was such a clean game. They were able to find all their openings, to punish Cakekalok whenever they appeared, and then we also saw the desperation for Cakekalok. There was a point in time, and we could see it, where Levi and Markgod, you could tell they were frustrated because they were just not able to fulfill their roles, which was to pick off the backline squishies. Like, they couldn't target Zoe, they couldn't target APAC-WEST. They just weren't able to get these pickoffs fast enough before they just got punished themselves.
And there's so much healing from RRQ.
And he had a Luna as well. Like, let's not forget